stoop down.
Stoop down.
There we go.
I can sit like normal. I got the good spot.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting back there last night when we did the Fast Times at Ridgemont High video. I'm like, that's much more spacious back there. Like, up here we have to slouch down and shit like that. And so we just got out of the nut job.
We made a horrible mistake.
Jake couldn't make it, so I flew Phelan in from Canada, brought in Allison from Champaign.
Worth it.
It was that hard to find someone in Springfield to go see the nut job. I had to send her out of the country.
Hey, you want to see something nutrageous?
It was hard for us to get in, though. It was sold out.
Yeah, it was all the I Frankenstein crowd that couldn't get in. They went into ours, so it was totally packed. We were the only fucking ones there. We were literally the only. I honestly can't remember the last time that happened. Where I was the. It happened with Dave when he went to go see Tyler Perry Presents Peoples. But it is like sub-zero fucking temperature out here, so I guess no one wanted to leave their house at 10:30 at night to go see The Nut Job. Which, thank God, because like we're the only fucking ones in there.
Yeah,
we
made
could,
that amazing.
yeah, we could talk all the way fucking through the goddamn thing. We did not have to be quiet in any way, shape, or form. The fucking employees were probably walking by our theater like,
why do they find that movie so funny?
I had to see this movie on a preview screening last week. The movie wasn't that fucking funny.
Well, you were expecting like a family to be behind us after the end of it.
I would have been like, yeah, because I stood up and I was like, I would have felt really bad if I stood up and there was like a family sitting behind us that we did not notice for some reason.
The whole time we're like, you're fucking dead, Squirrel!
Yeah.
Squirrel, you're fucking dead!
Dead!
Fucking, I'm on this
Oh, no
squirrel side.
fucking
Fuck
way.
all of these people.
Yeah.
Fuck all they're fucking up his shit. If there was a family behind us, I would have been like, well, it's their own fault for not telling us to be quiet.
Your other out was, don't worry, those animals are long since dead. It was
Yeah. Like, you just go up to the kids afterwards and be like, this movie takes place in the 50s, so those animals have long since been dead. Decades.
So what is the plot of The Nut Job? Let's,
No
what is
nuts,
it?
no glory. It's a heist movie with. Did you see Over the Hedge?
With Will Arnett as Batman.
Yeah, I like Will Arnett.
I do.
That
I like.
preview was the best thing about it, the Lego movie.
Yeah, and he's going to be Batman.
Yeah, he's got the voice for it.
Yeah, he's doing really good with that.
I like Will Arnett. He's a lot better than the nut. Like starring in the Nut
he
Job.
kind of makes it a bit more likable than it probably has any right to be.
Honestly, you're right, because I like. Man, where do I even begin with this goddamn fucking movie? Like,
It's amazing if you have an empty theater.
oh, sure, fuck. You go find yourself an empty theater, you have $5.
Yeah, this is great.
Fuck it. It's every 2 minutes there's nut puns.
Yeah.
Nut puns all over the fucking
In
place.
case there weren't enough, we kept making them.
Yeah,
But we were making better ones than the movie.
right?
What was it like when they said
Yeah, when they
the
found
city
all-
of Nutlantis?
Yeah,
is what
they go
said?
the lost city of Nutlantis, but I beat them too. And I said the Nutter Load.
The Nutter Load.
Kiss
Nut
my ass,
romantic.
nut job.
Kiss my ass, nut job.
Okay, I like the best part to me was the names and their lack of creativity. In
Surly
casting.
Squirrel.
His name is
Squirrel.
Surly Squirrel. That's the main character. Can you guess what he's like?
And the main villain, the raccoon, named Raccoon.
Liam Neeson is the he's just named a raccoon.
Yeah.
Some animals have names, some don't. Like
Yeah.
Mole is just called Mole.
Who's the mole in the group?
It's the fucking Mole. Go fucking Jesus. Like, it's, man, and there's Surly Squirrel, there's Andy, there's
Yeah.
Precious the dog, so sure, why not? A fucking Silence of the Lamb reference in there, okay.
The best friend is Buddy, the rat.
Yeah.
He's the
Buddy.
best friend. His name's Buddy.
Silent Pinky,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's... This movie, I'm sitting there watching this, and I am so siding with Surly Squirrel
Yeah,
in
really.
this fucking movie, because it has a typical kind of setup for a movie like this. I mean, it's not that much. Like, Over the Hedge is a better movie than this, but thematically they're similar. they live in the park, and all the animals, they collect nuts throughout so they can eat throughout the year. But then there's the loner, who's Surly Squirrel, and his friend the rat, and they're trying to steal from a nut cart at the beginning of it, and he's just an independent squirrel. So like the other squirrels who are part of the big group of animals go to steal from the truck too. But he has a pretty good plan. Like, he obviously has motivation and drive to do this. He's got all these gear set up, this, like, Mission Impossible type shit to steal this. And then all these other animals just fuck his shit up. Like, it's their fault that all this shit happens. Like, the fucking cart goes shooting through like a rocket. It blows up their tree. That destroys all their food, and then they banish Surly the Squirrel for something that's their fucking fault.
Like, he was stealing his nuts. He jumps off the thing. They have plenty of time to do the same. And, you know, it was the Grayson guy's fault that it shot off towards the tree anyway.
He's the gray
jumps
squirrel.
on it.
Grayson's the gray squirrel.
Grayson was the one that they were all interested in.
Yeah, he's like he was like half Gaston, half what's his name from Futurama? Zach Brannigan.
Yeah, Zach Brannigan.
And like half Zach Brannigan.
I like that the raccoon's assumption is that Surly is trying to impress Grayson.
You're trying to impress someone.
You're trying to impress
Grayson. So
Like,
my
not the
theory
girl.
was the raccoon's really into Grayson. That's why he wants Surly out of the picture.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He's trying to hook up with Grayson. They also banish him too for not being part of their group, so they're like humiliating him for being a nonconformist.
Yeah,
for not joining their
hell's
club.
that?
Like, what the fuck? And then when he gets banished, he's like living on the street with his rat, and then he finds a shop that has a bunch of the movie like basically is going on the same time that a heist movie is going on. Like, this movie like seems to be crossing paths with like small time crooks or something like a movie like that. Like, there is a bank heist by humans going on in all this, and the area that they're staying has a bunch of fucking nuts in it. So Surly's trying to steal out of that. Meanwhile, the female squirrel is like again fucking with him, like totally fucking his shit up, saying like, I will you tell me what you're doing. You tell me where you're getting food. You're getting food, aren't you? It's like, what fucking business is it of yours? You assholes banished me. Like, fucking leave me alone. It is apparently based on a short film. It's called...
You're going to say it based on a true story.
It's based... That would be so fucking funny if there was some story from the 1950s about a group of dumbasses who tried robbing a bank, and then it got fucked up because a squirrel got into their wiring.
We just kept shooting our guns at the squirrels.
And they all knew that it was the squirrels. It must have been that squirrel.
That fucking squirrel blew up our basement.
That was one thing I loved, though. Anytime they seen the squirrels in the place, fucking pull their guns, start shooting the
And there's
place
no
up.
reason for him to suspect that the squirrel is blowing anything up. Like,
Yeah.
the squirrel just happens to be there, and an explosion happens. It's not like, oh, he's really clever, but no one's gonna believe him. It's just that there's explosions and there's a squirrel there. It must have been that
obviously, there's no one else in there. Obviously, it was a fucking squirrel. So
squirrel.
during...
Blow us up.
Yeah, obviously, he's trying to blow us up. And like what you were saying, like when they're doing the bank heist, they're just fucking shooting at him. Like blowing holes in their doors and shit.
We are in the middle of moving our money. Maybe not the time to fucking shoot your guns.
Well, I want to know what they were doing when he captures Surly Squirrel and puts him in a cage, and he's like, get the blowtorch.
What the fuck was going on there? Yeah. They capture, like, suddenly this movie turns into Mouse Hunt. Like, they capture him in the cage, and they were gonna fucking burn him. Just, like, fucking burn him alive, and then fucking the blonde girl comes in and sets him free after sticking her head in the cage for no reason.
It's like, hey, wild squirrel. That was the end.
You know the thing that killed me at the end, though, is that, okay, this whole time they're in this park where they can't get their food. They have to go into the city to get the food because it's a park. And at the end, when they're on the river, there's There's trees, there's wildlife all around them. They found a fucking forest, and they go back to the dead tree park in the middle of the city again.
They can't eat from those trees.
Yeah.
It was out
That's
in
the
the wilderness by a
Badlands.
waterfall. They were way the fuck out there.
Well, it's kind of like on Lost, you know, where it didn't take until 4 seasons in before they found like other kinds of sanctuary. Just in a much smaller environment.
Oh, wait, there's a whole city here.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
notice that with the fence that kills you if you go in between.
I didn't fucking notice that there was like a commune of island hippies here this entire time we fucking been. Yeah, it's the same thing. Same with the squirrels in the waterfall.
Oh,
And
wait.
And honestly, like this is a pretty bad movie. Like, I don't know if it's 10% on Rotten Tomatoes bad, but because I've seen worse.
It's
like,
cliched.
Well, it's cliched, and all the characters hate each other. You notice that? Like, no one really likes each other. Except
Yeah.
maybe Surly and his buddy, but then he's still a jerk to him.
yeah, Surly is like he is a dick. He's a total dick, but most of the time he's a dick for perfectly good reason.
Yeah.
And I honestly could kind of see that, like, with it being based on a short movie that's literally just called Surly the Squirrel.
Oh.
I could kind of see that him working as a show. I don't think he's that bad of a character, quite honestly. Like, some of the characters in it I thought were okay. There were some that were goddamn fucking annoying, but
Well, you could tell that it's a short expanded. It makes more sense when you say
Yeah.
Like
that,
the
because it
dog.
really is.
that
You loved the dog.
fuck that dog. Precious. There's a pug dog that it's all over the fucking trailers. There's a pug dog that for the first half of the movie doesn't fucking talk. It's just acting like a dog, really. It's like a dog you'd see in, like, you know, the Looney Tunes cartoons, sort of. And then suddenly, halfway into the movie, not only does it start talking, which really kind of fucks you up for a little bit, like it was really, suddenly the dog just starts talking, and it's like fucking whiplash when that happens. But also is given a voice, I think it's Maya Rudolph, is given a voice that is bad casting for that dog. Like, they did not sound like it should be a voice coming out of that fucking character, and it made it really, really goddamn annoying. Like, it was a dog that kind of looked like it should have, like, a Rolf the dog kind of raspy voice, but talked like the tiny little dog, like the hey elf dog from some of the Looney Tunes shorts. And I guess we should get into the fact that this takes place in the 50s, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
But they managed to match up the music very nicely.
Perfectly.
So okay, at one point, they're banished to the city, and then he finds a nut shop, and they
Just
see this.
everywhere in New York at the time.
And out of fucking nowhere, Gangnam Style starts up, and they just start dancing. And
They
it's just
stop.
as strange as it sounds.
Yeah.
They stop, they look at the screen, and they're just the movie just literally stops dead in its tracks to do fucking Gangnam Style in a 50s period. Really?
It's so disconnected, it cracked me the hell
Yeah,
up.
like we were all laughing because it
just
literally
like,
is out of
what
nowhere.
is
And I knew-
this?
I knew the
What?
song was in the movie ahead of time, and it still came out of nowhere.
And it's still all three of us knew that it was in the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we all knew.
eventually it's, but I thought, I don't know what I was picturing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's hard to think of it fitting in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, just so disconnected.
I could see it just being like an end credits thing, and that's it. Just kind of like the kids
Well,
like this.
It certainly was
It
the
even
credits.
surprised us there, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was.
Oh my, it, like, really, you couldn't have just played, like, The Twist or something on there? Like, what?
What kid wouldn't like? Oh, sexy lady.
Yeah.
Sexy lady!
The credits let you know the Gundam style was what it was all about in the end. Because just
Nut
fucking
style.
Yeah. Go nuts style.
Gangnam Style. Does
wish
he just
he'd
really
gone with
like
that.
nuts?
Yeah.
Like, he's on those fucking cashew commercials now. Does he just like things with nuts?
He's in the
Yeah, he
credits, by
actually
the way.
fucking comes
Sai
out.
is there dancing with all of the characters
Yeah.
doing the Gangnam Style dance in the 50s.
I'm not... She's not kidding. He is. I took a fucking picture of it on my phone. Because I don't know who the fuck would believe me that happens.
All of us were like aghast. Like we're sitting there like, is this really fucking happening?
This cannot be fucking happening right now. There is no fucking way. Literally, like it cuts to black. Gangnam Style starts playing, and 3D computer animated Psy comes out, who when he's standing next to the other animals is just the size of the raccoon.
Yeah.
So either that's a big fucking raccoon or he's really goddamn short in real life. And they just start dancing to that fucking song at the end of this 1950s period piece. I watched that and was just like, okay, this just screams to me like the guy who made I refuse to believe that the person who wrote this movie and who directed it wanted that to be in this movie.
No.
That screams of, like, the producers made them fucking do this. Because, honestly, Alright, before I get off on another tangent. Yeah, there he is. Right fucking there. There's your Psy. The fucking credits right next to it, dancing. It goes on for like as long as the song is.
Yeah.
That's how long it goes on.
I love too. They kept the sexy lady.
Yeah.
They didn't
Sexy
change it to,
lady.
like,
Oh
the
yeah.
Kids Bop version.
Artist integrity. I mean, come on. You can't change the lyrics.
Don't fuck with my song for the nut job.
I think like with it being in the 50s and with it like this is a plot that is straight out of a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like animals who are who have their own agenda and they come across gangsters who have their own thing and heists going on. I mean, that's straight out of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and that kind of seems like maybe in its original conception that was kind of the vibe they were going for, especially with it being set in the 50s like it was. I can and if better fucking written, I can kind of see that working, because truth be told, I like the synopsis of the movie just fine. Like, they're animals, they're stealing a bunch of nuts, and they happen upon an actual heist. Okay, right on. But
there's parts of it I want to like, but it's too stupid.
It is, even for a movie called The Nut Job. I mean, it's every 2 minutes there's some fucking thing with the nuts. There's that fucking annoying dog. There's the Psy shit. Fuck. And I didn't.
It's so nothing. It's so funny just because it has nothing to do with anything. Anyway, now we Gangnam Styled.
Well, before that, the movie was pretty slow going. I gotta say, like it's
A
kind
little
of like,
bit.
all right, like no one has really that much of a personality outside of that squirrel. And then, like when they revealed that the raccoon was the villain, I almost forgot there was supposed to be a villain.
I
was
did
like,
too. That
oh,
really threw me
alright.
off. I was like, I was perfectly content with the bank robbers being the villains of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, did it really need the fucking raccoon to turn out to be a bad guy?
And it had that bird that confused me because, like,
what the fuck was
the
that?
raccoon
Easter
has like a
Island
pet bird.
Uh-huh.
That looks like an angry bird, and
Yeah,
it's just
it
sitting
does.
there and it doesn't say anything through the whole thing. And so it's like his pet. So it's like a pet to the animal.
It kind of looks like that bear in those AMC ads at the beginning of it to shut up. You don't need your phone where you're going, sugar.
There's a million times that bird should have been dead. Same with Swerve.
Everyone should have been dead at a million points. They had, like, at one point, the Grayson squirrel gets hit, like he's on the front of a vehicle and then it hits into the other one and he's stuck on the back of it. Like, that's what would happen.
And this is beyond, like, because, I mean, it's, like, yeah, I mean, it's a cartoon, so, of course, really slapsticky shit's gonna happen, but you're right, because I mean...
kept doing that a million times with
Yeah.
those things, like bricks fall on them, or they'll, like,
brick
get
fell on
electrocuted, or,
Swirly.
things that would clearly kill them.
Yeah, even outside of it being a cartoon, you're right, because I grew up on slapsticky cartoons with animals just blowing each other up with dynamite and shit. This one was, I don't know, you're right, the vibe of it was different. Whenever something like that would happen, they legitimately looked dead.
Yeah.
Like, when a brick fell on them, it looked like they were dead. And when, like, he got his head...
Get electrocuted.
When he gets electrocuted, yeah, and when he gets his head crushed in something, and the shot ends with him getting his head crushed in a window, and his lifeless body just hanging there. You're right. I mean, it did throw off that vibe.
Well, that one was weird too because his head pops up out of his body, like he sucked it in. But at no other point in the movie is there anything like that where, like, you know, they can stretch out their arms or they don't, like, you know, it still kind of acts like, you know, like they have bones and stuff. It's not really like that, except that one where the head goes in the body.
Because squirrels could, squirrels could do that. I mean, they stick their heads in their bodies. They rob stores for nuts. I mean,
yeah, we're saying this movie is not very realistic.
hey, I'm spoiled on growing up with heist movies like Dog Day Afternoon and The Bank Job, the classics, and this one did not live up to that.
It was hard to follow the actual heist plot.
It kind of was. I mean, granted, like, it was a little hard for. I'm glad you guys said that too, because like it was kind of hard for me sitting there following it, but I kind of just chalked it up to like, well, it's not like I'm giving this movie my 100%. I mean, we're sitting here like cracking jokes at the thing, but you are right. Like when it got to the police standoff at the end, which there's a fucking police standoff on a dam.
I have donuts.
Yeah, they made a mistake of driving by a donut shop with literally every fucking cop is there, and if you didn't pick up on the goddamn joke, there's one shot during the standoff at the dam when one cop just holds up a fucking donut for no goddamn reason whatsoever.
This is reward for shooting the tire.
It's just,
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't even get that. I'm like, why was he so proud of that donut?
No, he was holding it to him like, "Oh, good cop, you get a donut."
Oh, I thought the donut was slightly shiny, like it was like a donut
it looked
award.
really
he got.
good.
He got a donut award for doing something.
For doing something.
It looked like it was grape flavored. It looked really good and shiny. I kind of wish we saw it in 3D.
4D, so we could have tasted the donut.
Oh man! Oh no! I was at Spy Kids 4D. You don't want that because it would have just been a bunch of farts. That's what that fucking
they had
movie
a lot
was.
of fart jokes in this.
A lot.
Yeah.
Quite a fucking bit. Like it was like literally exploding shit. They're fucking digging tunnels underneath the thing, and like they're passing out, and like he keeps fucking farting down here. Hey, will you cut that out? We're trying to work over here. Oh, I heard that. You stop that. God damn, really, movie?
A lot of what made me laugh. A lot of what made me laugh was how kind of underwhelming the movie was. Like it just seems like the little movie that can't.
Kind
like
of.
it's trying to be something that you're like everyone's just gonna forget this as soon as they go home.
Oh yeah, I mean like it was the kind
I
of
will
movie
never
that
forget it.
the experience.
It was hilarious,
is
like watching it with
magnificent.
you guys. But like I'm imagining like a family coming with their kids. It seems like there's so much more worthy things to watch than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Take the kids to go see Wolf of Wall Street. Honestly, yeah. I mean, like it's not one of the worst kids movies I've seen in a while. Like Smurfs 2 is way worse than this. Epic I thought was worse than this. But it does seem like something that was really goddamn tampered with during production of this thing. Like it really seemed like there was heavy fucking studio control over this goddamn thing to shoehorn in every little fucking thing that they can in this, whether it's the fucking nut puns, whether it's a sigh, or all of that shit thrown in it. I mean, yeah, I'm not exactly gonna fucking remember this fucking thing, like, as the days go on, but I didn't have a miserable experience of watching it. I mean, like,
I don't think it was bad. It was just sort of like just underwhelming.
Yeah.
I think if Will Arnett hadn't been the main squirrel, it would have been a lot less likable.
What I kind of, I agree with that. If you didn't have someone charismatic like him, and I kind of liked how every now and then the squirrel sort of looked a little like him.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did, yeah. Yeah, he should have been dancing to the final countdown instead of instead of Psy. I could have got behind that.
Steam nuts with club sauce. I fucking love Will Arnett, man. I wish he was in something that wasn't The Nut Job. Whatever the fuck that sitcom is he has on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there about this thing? Was there anything else? I mean, like, okay, yeah, at the end, when it is a really confusing standoff there at the end, because I'm not really sure what the villains are doing there. It seems like it kind of comes across like their plan is to load the truck with the money and then drive it off of the dam to escape, but that just kind of happens by happenstance because the dam.
And that was the one they filled with dynamite that falls down there too.
Okay, yeah, it happened really fast.
Yeah, because they fill one supposedly with the money and the other with dynamite, and they shoot that one over to the cops, even though they're surrounded on both sides that they showed. Then that one cop makes his miracle donut shot, and then sends it over the bridge.
Yeah.
And then it seems like they're unloading the money from that one. So I was like, what?
I know. I wasn't really. Granted, I mean, I wasn't really trying my best to follow it, but it was a little hard to follow what exactly they were trying to do.
You're being jackasses and not paying full attention, maybe.
Honestly, the funniest parts were just coming up with the puns and just being as crass as possible.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there was much from the actual movie that I laughed at. It was just mostly making fun of it.
Yeah, genuinely
was
laughing at the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice. It was, and whenever I did, I know it wasn't the intent of the goddamn scene.
Yeah.
Like at the end, when Surly falls off of the dam and they think he's dead, and his rat, what's the rat's name?
Buddy.
Buddy. What Buddy?
Duh.
I forget that. Buddy. When Buddy is sitting there all sad and the annoying pug comes up and says, hey, come here. I want to show you something. Come here. And they walk away and he leads them to Surly's corpse. He's not actually dead. He looks fucking dead. Like, he looks fucking as dead as a squirrel would look if he fell off of a giant fucking dam that's 1,000 feet tall. It's like, what the shit? Fucking harsh, you fucking dog. like, what is it? Hey, come here. You want to come see a dead body?
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to be this heartfelt, sympathetic moment, but like, you want to come see the body?
Dick.
Yeah.
Here's how you should remember your friend. Fucking
See,
dick.
you don't want to end up like this, do you?
Yeah.
That's why you should fucking conform.
Say no to nuts.
I did kind of like their relationship. I did kind of like that the rat up until the very end didn't talk. Because if he did, it really would have been like Pinky in the Brain. Like, really, the rat looks like Pinky, and if he talked, that's exactly what it would have been.
They just got Rob Paulson to voice.
Bring Rob Paulson. Now they would have gotten like fucking Josh Gad or somebody to be the fucking voice of.
Cook,
Man, no, he's too busy working on the sequel, The Planes.
Oh, okay.
Probably another fucking movie. I tell Jake that I'm gonna go see the kids' movies with him this year, and where's he? He's usually when I was here there the whole time, boys. I'm back, baby.
Holy shit.
Usually, although, like, this kind of breaks his record of, like, usually when Jake couldn't make it to one of the kids' movies, it was, like, a really good one. Like, he didn't make it to, like, Despicable Me 2, which, I mean, I didn't see, but they said it was pretty good. And there were a couple other ones, but usually when he can't make it to one, it's one that, like, dumb fucking luck turns out to actually be good. He's gonna be glad he missed this. I really don't think he would have liked it. He would have been gone after the second nut pun. Like, he would have been... I don't think he would have been as mad as he was at, like, Smurfs or Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like, it's not
This seems
that.
really obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this movie wasn't really that obnoxious.
I like that the raccoon resorts to killing them near the end.
Yeah.
It's like he's just like, I'm just gonna.
rabbit.
What?
The rabbit?
I said raccoon. I say rabbit? Well, I meant raccoon if I said rabbit. But like he's like, I gotta control them by controlling the food. Now he's like, oh, I must throw you off a moving truck. I gotta get rid of the evidence.
He is a terrible dictator.
Yeah.
He's awful, just awful.
And they shouldn't have listened to him anyway. His fucking name was Raccoon. Brilliant.
He doesn't even have a proper goddamn name.
Fuck this guy. I don't care
Yeah,
if
I
he's
think-
Liam Neeson or not.
Like, I mean, who else is, like, no one else, like, all the other raccoons have names, and he's just the one named Raccoon, or are they all just Raccoon? Like, I mean, it's really lucky
Just the
Surly Squirrel.
uncreative ones.
It's really lucky Surly Squirrel ended up being Surly, otherwise, like, his mom's just a jerk. Like, he's just
Yeah.
a normal guy named Surly. And now he's not a surly guy. That doesn't even fit anymore. He's gonna have to change it.
I did
Yeah.
kind of like that. At the end, he really is still just kind of left to his own devices. Like, he's
Yeah.
friendlier with them now, yeah, and they kind of have a deal to, like, split a lot of things evenly. But he's still just kind of on his own, really, with
Yeah.
Buddy the Rat. He's like, yeah, all right, you guys are okay. I guess we can share the same space together. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, he
I like
pulled
that
like
they-
he pulled like the Dark Knight thing on Grayson. Like he's
Yeah.
like, "You're
Yeah.
the hero.
The
you
Dark
gotta be
Nut
the
thing.
hero."
The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah.
I like that they didn't force in a romance, at least with the other squirrel.
Yeah, they didn't. I
I
didn't
thought they were
realize that.
going to. And then it's just like,
No,
it
'cause
looks
he's in
like
love
they're
with
gonna.
Grayson.
Yeah, exactly. Who could not fucking think of Grayson in that sweet tale? Fuck.
Actually, that's a pretty gay movie. I gotta say.
This movie's pretty gay, bro.
Him and the buddy, him and Grayson, the two lackey guys.
Mm.
Yeah.
There were a lot of oops gate moments in the movie. Like, instead of giving him the Heimlich, he just gets punched in the face. A couple of leftover jokes from I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
They don't even get like the gangster guy, the mob guy, back with his girlfriend. I thought maybe they were doing a parallel. Well, he's like, I'm on the last heist. I can change my ways. I thought he was gonna like change his ways, and then that would be the resolve of the human plot, and then he would get with the girl, and then he didn't.
That would actually be really clever.
I thought that's what they were doing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, at least that's kind of neat. They don't show him that much, but he's got a story arc going on. And then they didn't.
That would actually be, yeah, that would have actually been really good if, like, literally the same thing was happening to that heist guy, the human.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would have really enjoyed that.
That's really what I thought it was, and then he got
Yeah.
arrested, and I was like, oh, well, I guess he's just going to rot in jail forever.
Yeah.
Like,
Boom.
oh, I'm just a dick.
Yeah.
But then she owned the net shop at the end, you know. So
She's not arrested for aiding and abetting a lone felon.
yeah, so now they can just continue to live in that wasteland of a park instead of go into the wildlife. They're idiots.
They did elect that fucking raccoon named Raccoon, so whatever.
Anything fucking goes. Jesus Christ. Fucking raccoon. Tall
They just
ass
Gangnam
raccoon.
Style.
Sexy lady!
It was almost worse seeing the human characters in the 1950s outfits doing the Gangnam Style than the
Yeah.
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 Because especially that woman, when you see her doing it, you're like, ah.
Really? Like, I know I wasn't around in the 1950s, but I know that didn't happen.
I know Gangnam Style wasn't either.
I've seen
love-
Back to the Future. I know the 50s gave us Van Halen.
They loved Koreans back then. What do you mean?
Right. Yes, he would have been right at home. The movie, it really came and went for me. Like, by the time it was over, it really felt like I wasn't there very long.
Yeah.
Like, if I had left it, you'd have been like, wow, that was only an hour long. I would have been like, oh, okay, I believe it. I mean, there's a lot of points where not much is kind of happening, but it did really kind of breeze by. Admittedly, probably because we were just snarking at it the whole
Yeah.
time. But
It would have
was
felt
great.
longer if it had there were people in the theater. I think.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
if Jake and I had to go see this like in the morning, then yeah. That would have been pretty rough if we had to see it at like a 9 a.m. screening or something like that. That I might have been a little grumpier if that was the case. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it's pretty inoffensive as it is. It's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on it?
Fucking raccoon named Raccoon.
You leave that shit to Winnie the Pooh.
Go see Gong Nut Style.
Kong style.
You any final words on the nut job? So stupid asking that question. God damn it.
It's totally outrageous.
That's one of the
catastrophe.
Nut catastrophe.
No nuts, no glory.
Nut up or shut up.
Bust a nut. Nut on,
My
nuttity
nuts and
nutters.
bolts. Nut on.
Nut on.
Nice. I'll end it there.